We're here with head coach Mike LaRosa and two starting pitchers, John Sperone and Braden Fosnaught. Coach, I will open it up to you for a brief comment, and then we'll get to questions.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredible. This is our second weekend in a row. We had to win 2 in a day. And, you know, our guys are just incredibly tough mentally. And I don't think you do that twice without, you know, having mental fortitude and certainly just understanding, like, you know, guys just understood, like, breaking it down on an inning basis and just winning an inning at a time. You know, we fell behind there in the second game, and I think easily could have gotten out of it and just did enough to stay in the game and then eventually scratch and claw and get some runs across. East Stroudsburg's a really tough team all around. I mean, they're top to bottom. Their pitching staff is tough, and it showed. I mean, they used 5 pitchers in game 2 today, and every guy came out and had good stuff. Offensively, like, if you miss your spot, they take advantage of it and make you pay for your mistakes. And defensively, they were taking hits away from us all series with big plays. So, you know, I think for us just to be able to overcome that, obviously these 2 guys to my right were a huge reason. Fozzie starting yesterday and then in the halted game coming back today and finishing it with a complete game was huge for us because we were able to go into that game too, really with everybody in our bullpen and Joe being one of them. We knew we were going to go to Sperone at some point. It happened a lot sooner in that game than expected, and you know, Joe just did an unbelievable job of bridging it and finishing that game. You know, throwing 4 2/3 and giving up only 2 hits and no runs. And I mean, that was huge because they were getting to us and they were scoring runs inning to inning, and we were able just to kind of put a pause on that. They scored in the second, third, and fourth, and then Joey came in, and that was that.
First, Braden, talk a little bit about your approach to today, coming in a halted game in the second inning. Is it any different, or did you treat it just like it was the top of the first?
I think it was a little different just because we had a 1-run lead going into that second inning. So knowing I had 8 innings in front of me with a lead already I felt like it was a huge advantage. And our guys put up a couple more runs, and I was able to keep the bats down for the most part. They had 2 big hits, but other than that.
Talk about your game plan and how you were going to attack their hitters to keep them off balance.
We just wanted to be aggressive and work the inner half. I felt like I was commanding both sides of the plate, though. I would miss, but when I would miss away. And, you know, I feel like as a hitter, they struggle to adjust with fastballs and away. And I didn't miss too much down the middle of the plate. And then being able to throw stuff away, like soft away with that, curveballs and changeups and a couple cutters. So I felt pretty good today.
So now, like Coach said, second week in a row, you guys have won 2 in a row on the last day. East Stroudsburg's never been swept in a doubleheader all year until today. Last week, you told Sperone, get me to game 2. This week, you had to get to Sperone in game 3. Talk a little bit about that mentality, I guess. And you know, were you coming out of that game, or did you keep telling Coach LaRosa, nope, I got more?
We never really had that conversation because I think he knew I wasn't going to come out of that game. So, and then getting into the next one, it's just about being tough. And I knew that I had a chance to do something in that first game to be able to put our team at an advantage with having guys available in the bullpen for the second game, and that was huge. And our bats scored enough runs, and we kept them to few enough runs to be able to win both and play another weekend.
Joe, kind of talk about coming in, pitching 4 2/3, only 2 hits, no runs for you. When you come into the game, are you thinking, I'm going to finish this, I'm going to get through it, or do you just think, I'm going to keep them down as long as Coach keeps me in?
So, I mean, coming in, it was kind of like on the fly with Kyle Laser. I mean, disappointed, like he got hurt and everything, but I knew I had to come in and get my job done right away. It wasn't, I mean, coming in the middle of an at-bat, 2 strikes on the batter, you had to lock in right away. It wasn't like you can take a pitch off or anything. So I knew just coming in, like, it was just get my job done and we'll take it from there. And I mean, I got back-to-back strikeouts and I was running off the field and I knew I wasn't coming out. I came running in. I just said, ride me to the end. I'm ready.
Was there any message from you to the batting order coming into the game saying, "Hey, give me a couple runs and this game's over"?
I actually told Mike Farrar, our first baseman, he came up to me and he said, keep going. I told him, get me the lead and this game's over. I'm good.
Mike, now you first, obviously, second year here at Widener, you were, one win from the Division III National Championships to get over that hump here at Westchester at your alma mater. You were part of all of those teams through the first part of the 2000s that built this program. How satisfying is it? Has that been something you've thought of, or that has sunk in, that you and your assistant coach, Brian Lindros, you started this so long ago, and now you're both here to see this through and get to the national championships?
Yeah, it's very special. Obviously, just the opportunity to reach the College World Series at any level is a rarity, and to be able to do it here, which is, for my alma mater, is special. As a player, my senior year, we lost in the regional championship and we won game from the World Series, and I think the following year was the first year Westchester went to World Series, and now just the fifth College World Series appearance?
Fifth, yes, it
College
is.
World Series appearance. So
Yep.
you look at all the great teams over the last 20 years, and this is the fifth. Like, it just shows how hard it is,
Yes.
And it's special for the players. I'm happy that they get to experience this because they do deserve it, and they make me look good. I mean, it's just a testament to who they are. I think the camaraderie amongst our team is really what's special. We certainly have talent, but there's a lot of teams that have talent. I just think we have a bunch of glue guys, I call it. It's guys that stick together through thick and thin, and we've been challenged time and time again, especially these last 2 weeks, and you kind of see how our guys continue to support each other, and they deserve it, and they deserve this opportunity to go play at the College World Series and have that experience, and I know it's one that's going to be special that they'll remember forever.
Now, I know in talking with John Kamansky, ESU's head coach, he mentioned Westchester he used the same phrase, glue guys, in the middle of that order. He said it just seemed like in game one we could not get them out. Talk a little bit about how they led the way. Ferrara, Cantwell had 2 big home runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk about, and then Flaherty, talk about how they really kind of picked the team up offensively.
Yeah, I mean, clutch hitting down the stretch these last few weeks has been big for us. A lot of 2-out RBIs, and obviously Luke 2 home runs in game 1, and that was the difference maker. And a couple 2-out RBIs in game 2, and I just felt like the resiliency. We just always had an answer. They were scoring. Okay, we're coming back and we're putting runs back on the board, or we scored and then Joe goes out and has shutdown innings, or Fozzie went out and had shutdown innings and kept them off the board. I just felt like we kept them on the mat. Like, every time they started gaining momentum, they ran into a wall. And they're a very big momentum team. Like, you could see how they can score runs in bunches and it can creep up on you very quickly. I just felt like our response every time they scored was the exact right one that we needed, and every time we scored, we shut them down for the most part that next inning, and that was big. And yeah, like you talk about the middle of the order guys, they could go. And if you break our lineup into thirds, is the way I look at it. Each third, at some point during this series, came through huge. And today, it did seem like it was that first third. That middle third that was with some big home runs there that did a lot.
Talk about the 2 people to your right, your number 1 and your number 2 starters. Certainly, I don't think you'd be going to Cary without them.
No, definitely not. It's not just like the pitchability and what they do on the mound, but it's the competitiveness, 100%. Like, the bigger the moment, the better these guys get, and we saw that these last 2 weeks when we needed them. Short rest. Joe started on Friday, and he's back here finishing the game today. Bob started yesterday and has to come out and finish his game today. Like, that's abnormal for pitchers to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's the mindset piece and the toughness, I think, that gets these guys over the top. And like I said, the bigger the moment, the better they get. And those are the guys that you trust, and you want the ball in their hands in the big moment.
Joe, if you could, I know you touched on it, coming into relief when you're normally a starter, and then coming in for an injured pitcher. You got as much time as you want to warm up, but just kind of talk about the mentality from the pitcher standpoint when you are normally a starter and you're coming into a game to relief.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's as a starter, you have as much time as you need to get ready, and really distractions or anything about the game. and coming in relief, it's like you got to get going, you got to get moving, you got to get locked in as quick as possible. And actually, my freshman year, I came in for Joe Martino, who got injured too. So it was I was kind of used to coming in and having as much time as I need. But it's different. But I'm good to go whenever.
Braden, kind of talk about something that Mike LaRosa talked about, the makeup of this team and the senior class and the grad students on this team, and how you guys have helped get the team to this point.
We just stick together through everything, like you said. He's a big part of changing the culture, and that starts with your older guys. You get them to buy in, and it just trickles down through everybody else, and that's been the biggest thing. Everybody has bought in, especially over these last couple of weeks. We know that if we want to do special teams, it's not as individuals, but as a team. So everybody's bought into that all year. Everybody's worked hard all year to get to this point, and you start to see that hard work finally pay off. And nobody tells you when that's going to happen. You just have to trust that it will happen. So.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Where do you